Hi. So I thought I would do an update on where I was with my planners. They're not going as expected. This was the ARC style planner that I started with. It's got Zoe paper on it and some of the Zoe complements. And I also Mod Podged it to give it a little bit of extra strength. It does take a little bit to flip, but it does flip over. Those are just pages that I printed and cut. And this was, and you can see why I kind of have not continued on. My pages start to come out very quickly. This was the inside of my first page, and see everything has come apart. And these are actually the pages that are meant to go with these discs. So this was my first page for the planner, and I love the look of it. The graph paper, just the graph, I just like the squareness of it. And I put some Zoe complements, and the stamp set that I used is the new Dated Everyday Life set from Close to My Heart. It actually has two sets of stamps. So it has all of the months, it has the days of the week, some arrows, and then just for a small calendar you could use the days of the week, a couple little accents. Again, this is the rest of the months, and then it also has the months smaller, typed, and this one says, this happened in the month of, and it's nice accents. This set sells for $35.50 Canadian, but it's a great set for any pocket scrapbooking. If you ever want to create a planner, anything with months, calendar, it's a lovely set, and it turns out really nice. So that was as far as I went with this style planner, because I found pages would start to come out very easily, and when I tried to close it up, it became very clunky. Now, I don't know if it's because I made my own cover and punched some of my own pages, or if this is what happens with this style. I know that some of the companies have them and they're quite popular, and then I started thinking, if I were to put this in my purse, it's going to take up a lot of room. So I decided to go to the spiral bound album. And again, I used Zoe, and I used some of the Zoe complements. This one did not get Mod Podged. I did do the front and back of the spiral bound album. So when I open it up, I have to say this cut is from the Artistry cartridge, and I love the look of this little cut. This is the new Cricut Artistry, and the dimension is just fantastic, and the intricacies. And that's my dog. So for this one, I just printed out the calendar year and glued them on. And then I started this as a front page. This stamp set here is one that comes with the new Cricut Artistry cartridge, and I use them in a few places. So that is this one, and it's cut at 2.5 inches. So this was my August page. So again, this is from the dated stamp set. Same with the days of the week and the month. And just these little swirls. These are from some of the, the swirls, the arrow in the month of, the August. The lines I did myself. And the numbers I did with this ancient stamp that I had that unfortunately blew a tire partway through my planner. It did go through a lot of numbers, and I used glue dots numerous times to put it together. It's probably about 15 years old. I got it free at CHA many years ago. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to find anything that replicates it. And you'll see the reason I love it is because you can do just the numbers, versus a lot of the stamps, they have the month, the year, and the numbers, but you can't have it blank where you have just the numbers, and you can stamp just the numbers. So I lined the pages up myself and stamped the numbers. So flip over to August, and unfortunately, the ink shows through. That again is from the dated. And I printed this calendar out that I found online because I thought it would be nice to have the calendars on each page for the weeks. And I couldn't figure out the best way to put the numbers for the weekly pages. I did do things where I tried something large and thought that might work, but then when I realized that I have to put 2 in some spots or my book would be even thicker, it just seemed too big. I did try some smaller squares or circles, and I thought that might be easier, but again, it was a little difficult because I had to use individual numbers each time. So the smart thing was, I thought, was to just use a tiny little hole punch out these circles, and stamp my numbers on it. And it was great until the stamp fell apart. And you see I put some Zoe compliments, and I continued on. Pretty much tried the same theme. And then to stick, I found it easiest to stick the numbers on with glue dots. And then I moved into September, and actually September I tried using 2 different colors, and actually gave a nice little look to it. And you'll see my glue dots are sticking. And I did find that this one was Glacier that I used, and it was awful light. Again, this stamp here is from the new Cricut Artistry cartridge. I cut it out and stamped it. And what I did, I continued on for the months and then the numbers. But the problem was my album became, before I even started writing in it or adding anything, my cover was starting to get hard to close because my album became very thick without me adding anything because of the cardstock months and numbers. And it became so thick that, again, I couldn't carry it in a purse or anything. So the smart thing I thought was, I went all the way to the end. Maybe I will just, see, my book even fell apart now. Maybe I would just pull off the glue dots and try and stamp a month and date. This one was from the Heidi Swapp calendar stamp. And again, see, you can have the month, but they only do 12 sections. So you can do it without the numbers and without the year, but you have to have a month in it. I actually at one point thought about cutting it to see if it had worked nicely. I was going to cut it. But you'll see when I ripped off the glue dots, it also ripped my pages. And I even tried some other styles, and what I was finding was that when you use them, I was starting to get little marks. You can see the marks because it wasn't even. This one here is this march here is the Close to My Heart roller stamp, and I really like it. And it would have been perfect because at least I would know where to get one, and I could have cut it, but what I find is when the numbers are here and if I can't cover these up, I can't stamp it properly, and I was getting ink everywhere, no matter how hard I tried, just stamping just the numbers. If you'll see, I tried to stamp just the numbers. It was becoming very blurry. And I tried it on this last page because I figured I could actually rip these pages out, and my album fell apart. So far my planner project is not going as planned. So I am back to the drawing board for now. A few positive things though, the die cuts, I just love that. It was just this major thickness, and I hadn't added any pictures, any writing, just the days of the week and the calendars, and I only went up to December. I didn't even add little calendars for the rest of the planner. The planner went all the way to March 31st, and I actually had room to do March 31st and then the month of April. So I am back to the drawing board with the calendar. The positive thing was these lovely stamp sets from the Artistry collection and the dated stamp sets. And I know I will be using these in my pocket scrapbooking and to try and make another style planner. And of course the roller stamp is good just for doing dates, basic dates on scrapbook pages if you want to. And it goes from 2014 all the way up to 2025. Okay, so that's the latest update on my planners. And also I did a video yesterday, that I just posted yesterday, and my plan was to use the cards from the Picture My Life set as place markers and dividers in the planner, as you see many planners have, because it would be very easy to punch the holes and put them in. And they add a lot of color and dimension, and you can pick which direction you want them in. And of course, I was going to use my favorite one, Be Bright, but since this planner is on the back shelf, I will not be using them for this one. So I will keep trying, and I will keep you up to date. For more information and updates, please go to my website at mystampnook.blogspot.ca. Thanks. Have a good day.